Good people, love and peace to all. This is your man Nat Busy for Shizzy live at the Guard Hour, and I'm back. I know you guys haven't seen me for a little while, especially yesterday. I took a little day to do my thing and get my thing together. So peace to Bar Kemal, peace to the Guard, peace Miss L. How you doing? But we're here, man. This is a election day 2020 edition of the Guard Hour Live, man. It's real out here. I hope you all got out there and did what you had to do, man. I hope you're out here bracing yourselves and keeping your third eye open and raising your vibration, because you know it's going to get a little crazy if things don't go the way that the people want it to go. Either way it goes, it's going to get a little crazy. So I hope everybody is doing their due diligence, taking care of yourself, watching out for one another, because we're in some unprecedented times, as we all know. And we have had a certified sociopath in this Oval Office for a little while now, and we can't have that for another 4 years. We can't have it for another 4 days. But beyond all of that, I just want to kick the ballistics with a very special person in my life. I'm gonna introduce y'all to her too, beautiful sister, and I want to get her perspective on a few things. And let's get down to the proceedings this evening. Yes, indeed. Peace and love, Queen. How are you?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
Oh, man, I can't call it. I surely might spoil it, but I am so honored to be here to talk with you this evening. Nikki D, how you doing?
Yes, sir. I'm good.
Yes.
I'm a little tired. It's been a long day. I've been moving around since about 5:30 this morning, so it's been a long day, but I'm good. I'm well. You know what I mean? Like, my health is good. My family is good.
No
I mean,
doubt.
the world is crazy, but you know, you got to separate yourself from the world, you know,
no doubt.
and create your own world.
That's a fact. And when you're doing that, you can't complain. You just got to maintain and keep going forward. But
absolutely,
you're a woman on this platform that needs no introduction. Everybody knows that you're daddy's little girl. You know what I mean?
Listen, some don't know. I don't mind telling them.
So please introduce yourself and let us know what it is you do.
Okay, well, my name is Nikki D. I'm the first female rapper signed to Def Jam Records, in case you didn't know. Back in the early 90s, I got a hit record. It was Daddy's Little Girl. It was on the charts for about 4 to 6 weeks. Billboard charts, #1. Then I put that out, and then the album, that was a single. Then the album itself came out. I did a lot of close collaborations with Queen Latifah. We did, A Lady of Rage, Paula Perry. I've toured. I've done all this wonderful stuff. Then I actually moved on after that. Worked at Queen Latifah's label, was head of A&R there for her, created one of her independent projects with her, as A&R, and an overall producer, executive. And then on to become a marketing manager at Fat Farm, a company, Russell with Kamora Lee Simmons. So I was marketing manager there for 8 years. And yeah, still going tour, still doing stuff. I was with Latifah 2 years ago. Last, I think I seen her. We did the Essence Festival. We did that. Janet Jackson was the headliner there.
The devil is a liar. He's trying to mess with the Wi-Fi.
Huh? I
said the devil's a liar. He's trying to mess with the Wi-Fi.
Oh, the devil always lying. And the one thing that I loved most in my adult life was actually getting on stage with all my sisters in Atlanta a couple of years back too. So it was me, Rod Digger, Lady of Rage, Yo-Yo, Light, Moni Love, like all the girls. So now, believe it or not, I mean, I'm still dabbling in the music. My son is on High 97 and Power 105 right now every day. His name is Chi. He got a song out called Tag 'Em In. So for those who listen to the radio, check out Chi. He's out there getting a lot of burn. And I'm also a fitness manager, New York Sports Club. So I'm out here.
I see that, man. And it's hard for me to kind of maintain my composure, because I came off the porch to your music. I was a certified grown man in '91 when Daddy's Little Girl came out, and it was a cautionary tale that was necessary at that time. A lot of people were telling stories, but nobody told that story like you told that story about these young women that grow up, get corrupted in certain ways, and Daddy won't even know what's going on because there's such a big world out here. just for a
Right.
second, because I know you probably answered that question a lot, but what was your mentality like when you was writing that, performing that, and what was the reaction from some of the people that you interacted with, you know, with regard to that particular song?
So the thing about that particular song, Russell and I came up with that in London because we was out there doing some other work. I was with Allison Williams, and you know, we kept talking about. He was like, "Nikki D, you're a dope rapper. You're a dope rapper, but I need a big hit. I need a big hit." And we was just, you know, milling around, doing us, running through London, having fun like we was in New York City, because that was basically our second home back then. Rappers always is in the UK. You know what I mean? Always overseas. So, but this was before I even had the record out. Russell would always make sure I was attached to something. So Daddy's Little Girl came about because he was like, you need something that everybody could relate to. You need something that everybody could rock with or whatever. So the Susan Vega sample had came out. My homeboy Sid, who produced the song, sent me the track. And he sent it to me. It had the hook on it. He was already had the hook in his mind, like, yo, Nick, this would be fly, yo. The Susan Vega hook. And then he was like, yo, what daddy don't know won't hurt him. And I'll be honest, I wrote the song twice. So wow. I wrote the song twice. The first time I wrote it and it was all about spitting. I still was spitting bars. Like when you a spitter, you kind of, it's the first thing you go to. Like it's a safety net for you as an artist, as a rapper. That's what you do. So you just go straight to the bars. So everything was like rhyming. So then thereafter, I wound up writing it again because I let Russell hear it. And Russell was like, I don't want you rapping. He said, I want you to tell me a story. I want a song. Mm-hmm. And he said, Daddy's Little Girl. He said, we talked about it. And I said, you're right. We did. So I wound up rewriting it and sitting still and thinking about my childhood, thinking about the young women that were already out there and what was going on and how we were impacted by our own environment and things like that. Like, you know, Black people, we always got we not always got a problem, but we just have a different upbringing, and our upbringing is more like survival as opposed to other ethnicities. Their upbringing is live. Indeed. So they're planned out in front of them where we plan in the moment. Mm-hmm. Now, that works both ways because I also like to live in the moment. But if we talk about longevity, that requires a plan. And a lot of teenage pregnancy, a lot of, you know, maybe when you was younger, you would either go to somebody's house or maybe you had it in your family and somebody would be 17 and they honor be 8. You're like, how the hell that happened? That's your aunt.
Yeah.
But it happened. You know, it was just some wild shit and you were like, okay. But Black people, we just have a different way of coming up. So while I was a whole nother lifestyle, I promise you, when that record came out, I could have talked about all of this shit that these cats front about, excuse my language, but I could have talked about everything that these cats front about because I really did have that life on the other side. Mm-hmm. It was more important for me to really put a message out there. So it was really dope. And I'll give you one quick story, what made me know that the song was absolutely a good message and beneficial. Okay. I was at the Palladium one time. Now I had already I think the school was called Ida B. Wells, maybe? It was a school in Queens.
I've heard of it, yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, Ida B. Wells, right? I think it was an all-girls school or something like that. It was a school in Queens. Yes. And I went out there and I spoke to the young ladies because the song was out. And this was young ladies, they were pregnant. You know what I mean? And I was like, wow, yeah. I'm on tour and these young girls is pregnant. Like, but be clear, I had already had my kid. So, you know what I mean? It wasn't like I was unfamiliar with it, but this one girl, after I finished talking to him or whatever, because, you know, they had all these questions like, you know, what do I do? Like, my parents is mad at me. Like, you know, I can't go anywhere. I can't do anything. And I'm like, sis, you're already pregnant. You're already having a baby. So what you can do is now think about your future. It's already happening. You young. So figure out how to make your life happen right now with this baby. You can't reverse it. You want the baby? Yes. Okay, so then now you got to figure out how to be a great mom. And if you need to, and you didn't have a good upbringing, look at some books. Go get some books. Read some things. Like parenting don't come with rules, and there's no script for it. So it's a live. It's basically a live experiment. There's no way you're going to be parenting through a book. But for young girls who know nothing about babies, get some information. You know what I mean? Like get yourself together and try to have a normal home where if it's just you and your boyfriend, you and your fiance, somebody want to marry you, great, even better. Yeah. So that happened. The girls loved it. I was at the Palladium one night. It's getting toasted. You know, we were doing what we do. I forgot Eazy-E was there. Like, this is how long ago this was. Eazy-E was there. Whose party was? I know Big was there. It was a bunch of us.
Illuminated.
You know? Yeah, absolutely. So this young man walked up to me. He was like, "Oh, NIKKI D," and I was like, "Hey, how you doing?" And he was like, "Nah, I just wanted to talk to you." And I was like, "It was good." He was like, "You went to my girl's school," and I said, "You talked to them?" I said, "What school?" Because I did a lot of schools. So he was like, "Nah, in Queens or something." And I was like, "Oh, okay." He was like, "Nah, I just want to thank you." I said, "Anytime." He was like, No. You understand? I want to thank you because she was thinking about not having the baby, and once you left, and he said, I know we were young. He said, but I wanted to still listen. We doing it. Let's start that family. Like he said, I know we was young, and she was just like, dang, I don't want to just be in school and be pregnant and that. But anyway, long story short, old boy wind up. He said what she did was he went to her and said, listen, I'm gonna get a job. I'm gonna make it happen. Let's make this family happen. He said, and she was like, you know what? NIKKI D was like, we already doing it, so we might as well go ahead and live our life. Like, what's the problem? Like, you know what I mean? Like, long story short, he was just like, thank you, because we live together. We got a beautiful baby, beautiful child. And I was like, that should touch my heart so much that at the end of the day, if I got nothing else from that song, that worked for me because they became a family outside of just being that baby mother with that kid. You know what I mean? Like, so that was really touching for me. So that was bigger than probably anything I could have gotten off that song.
That's so dope, man. And one thing I could say about you, from the first glance, you were so relatable. Like you talk about, there was a lot of things going on at that time. I had an older sister who had boyfriends that was into a lot of different things. I had cousins. But so you reminded me of somebody from the neighborhood at that time. And you kept it real, And then you had the hip hop romance with you and the good brother. God
Absolutely,
Apache.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And it touched our heart because we wasn't seeing that within you had Tretch and Pepper and you had, some other.
Tretch and Pepper, no, they was fun. They was fun because they saw us all in love. They was like, Tretch was like, I got me a rapper too.
Oh man, that's crazy.
He my little brother, so it's all love.
But to see you back then and to see the grace and the poise and the years have been so good to you now, and to see you taking your platform and speaking truth to power now. And I know you don't have too much time, and I'm glad you.
No, we can talk.
Yeah,
we can talk a little bit.
So what has the transition been like for you from being in the music industry to taking some of the stances I hear you talking about now in a major way? So
the thing for me now is it's real. You know what I mean? Like everything is on the surface. This is not what has not been. This has always been like this, right? So I like to think of all of these so-called supremacists and racists, all these people who are now all out the woodwork and all this stuff happening. It's almost like having a bunch of fucking bugs in the house and you pull that wall off and all of them, you know what I mean? So the wall Trump pulled the wall off. So they all ran out like, we got a leader now.
Wow.
So once it started to become traumatizing, so to speak, once it started to become a real thing, a real problem, I found it more important to talk to people about us rather than get into the music. Because right before the George Floyd thing happened, I had come up with this female rap competition. And I was going to do it right on Instagram because I'm like, it's a pandemic. Let's go ahead and do it on Instagram where everybody on the gram, Swiss and them have verses. No matter what I tried to do to get to it, my heart wouldn't let me do it. My spirit wouldn't let me do it. Wow. I felt like I needed to focus on giving people messages because I had a following and I wanted to just remind them, listen, we got to get real about this. We got to get real about being down with each other and getting back to that family thing that we know, because they're not going to help us. They're not going to fix us. They're not going to give us nothing. Anything we want as a people, we're going to have to go and get it as a people. It's not going to happen through listen, I'm not telling people not to vote, whatever your beliefs are. I'm just telling you, it's not going to happen that easy. You know what I mean? Like, they've been controlling this thing, this thing since day one. So why would it change? So right now, the only way it's going to change is if we recognize that's our black dollar. That's basically the reason why we don't have anything, because we keep giving it away. And I'll give people a basic example of what the black dollar means. For those who just like, what do you mean the black dollar? Because people really still don't get it. You live in a neighborhood Every single business in the neighborhood is, none of them are black owned, but they're owned by all foreigners, not even Americans. All foreigners are owning all these businesses, be it the bodega, the Chinese restaurant, the liquor store, doesn't
Beauty
matter.
supply store,
Beauty supply store, the grocery store, everything, the barbershops. You get some barbershops and some black owners, so I'll take that back because, you know, we got some barbershops and salons.
But you'd be surprised. I cut hair, and you'd be surprised who really owns the building sometimes.
Exactly. It's still owning that property, right? So when people talk about the black dollar, you have the black dollar versus the Jewish dollar. So the Jewish dollar is a whole 30 blocks of community. So in that Jewish community, you take it back to Tulsa, right? Where we had 10,000 different, 15,000, 10,000 homes. We had 1,500 doctor's offices. We had a ton of shit in Tulsa where we didn't need anybody else. So when that black dollar was made, that black dollar went right back to that black business, right back. So we could sustain as a people and not have to look for anything. We could also police ourselves. We could have our own community officers. So today the difference is that black dollar, when you get paid, because your neighborhood has 0 black owned businesses, your money is gone, and we can never build wealth or generational wealth within the community. Now, individually as families, fine. You get your business going on, you pass it down to your kid, blah, blah, blah. But we can never build generational wealth as a community because we keep giving it away. And we have yet to really figure out how to sit still and say, damn, do we all need to move to Lake City, South Carolina and buy up a whole bunch of land like I'm hearing about people doing in Atlanta, buying 90 acres of this, and you know, and people are pissed about that. Why these black people buying this land? Why not?
Why? We can't win for little. You don't want us with you, but you definitely don't want us on our own. So
exactly, it's so like
so when it comes out, you just don't want us.
You just don't want us to have nothing. You don't want us, and for them, it's also a program. The same way we're enslaved, right? Mentally. And I say we because it's my people. The same way we're enslaved mentally to believe that we can't have certain things, that nothing is never going to happen. Like, man, it don't matter. It's always going to be like this. That is part of the reason why it'll always be like that. Because it's sad because it's the ratio. For every 2 people who might feel like we could get it, and we telling these 10 people over here, they're walking away. Maybe 1 might come with us. Yeah. So it's a slow grind back up because we don't even believe our own greatness because it's been stripped from us for so long that, you know, even the voting, like, why is Ice Cube saying something now? Why? Who cares when he says it? He's actually the only one and I'm not even talking about Wayne. Wayne, that's asinine shit Wayne doing. That's asinine shit Kanye and them doing. But Ice Cube actually went to Claude Anderson. If people are not familiar with Claude Anderson, he is a major black historian, yes. a major player in our lives, period. And if you're not familiar, you need to Google him. You need to get some books. You need to look him up and read it. He's going to tell you. Ice Cube went to this man and talked about a plan, the black community plan, the black American plan, not the platinum plan that people talking about, Trump talking, you know, not these, Ice Cube came and sided with us. No, he didn't. He never picked a side. He never even went to the White House.
It's propaganda. They came spent it.
Exactly. So because the propaganda is broader than our critical thinking, this is why we in this position that we in. You know what I mean? Like it's much broader than our critical thinking.
I'm a sort of a hip hop historian. It's safe to say you know Ice Cube personally, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I know Ice Cube. Very intelligent person. Very, very intelligent. So when he came with this, I was like, okay. And listen, I'm for any kind of change that's going to move us in a good direction. A lot of people are like, oh, it's a rapper. But you don't think he a man first? You don't think he black first? Like, let's be clear. Like, we know celebrities play a role of trying to stay safe and keep their, you know, they play a role of trying to stay safe and keep their celebrityism and not look crazy to people and not want to get involved in stuff. But it's the absolute wrong thing to do because you do have the power and people do follow you. So you need to step up and say something instead of just giving us a song and a dance with a message. Get out there, get your hands dirty, come get us. You ain't got to come get us and pick us up, but come and say, listen, you know what? I bought this much, you know, property in this area right here. We're going to build some low-income housing here. We're also going to put jobs here. I bought the strip mall. Nipsey hustled us because that was the closest thing that was growing. You know what I mean? In our community. So I'm not saying celebrities need to come and save us. I don't think they are saviors. But I think if you have some leeway more than we do, start the ball rolling. You know what I mean? But they scared of the people that actually keep them alive. You know what I mean? So
yeah. And man, salute to you, Nikki, because you've been giving us game since '91. You know what I'm saying?
hey,
I came out of high school in '91 to Daddy's Little Girl with so many
that's
other
dope.
messages, so many other songs being made,
Right.
especially by female MCs. And we
Oh
love our
yeah.
female MCs. We love Latifah, Moni, all of
Thank
them.
you.
They was kicking real stuff. But
Right.
nothing was realer at that time to me than Daddy's Little Girl, male
It
or
was
female.
it was an impactful song. It was
Yeah.
very impactful. I won't even lie. Like I would go on tour and do that song, and you just like you go to a Jay-Z or a Beyonce concert, they ain't even got to say lyrics. That the song was on that level where I would just stand there and be like, wow. And for me, again, that's another reward for me. Just hearing people love it like that. It was very impactful. And, you know, young women would walk up to me all the time and thank me. I have women that were young girls that would come up to me crying and, you know, thanking me for the song. So I think for me, the person that I am, I'm always about information and always about giving and sharing. You know what I mean? Like, that's just who I am. That's just what I do. You know, and it's, to me, I feel like if it benefits you, I don't have to get anything out of it. You know, I don't have to get nothing out of it. As long as, because I feel like if you have it, you're supposed to give it. You know what I mean? Like, what you holding on to it for? You know, give somebody.
And that's what I feel like. 29 years down the road, you're here. You don't have to be talking to me. You don't have to be talking to anybody. You could just sit back and rest on your laurels and say, hey, look, I did my part. I'm part of the glory days, the golden era, and all of that. And
listen,
I could just chill. Your sunshine.
Absolutely. I looked at your page and I said, I don't look at numbers. I said, oh, he got 1,000-something followers. But I'm not saying, oh, he only got 1,000. I'm just looking at your page and seeing what's through it. I liked what I saw. I was looking at some posts and I said, he's right where I'm at mentally. Like, you know what I mean? Like, as far as like, you know, where we at as far as a community of, you know, ethnicity, a group of people. Like, I don't like to really say race because I feel like we're more the human race than anything. And, you know, so it is what it is. But I looked at your page and I was like, even not for nothing, even with, I think her name was Latanya, even when she hit me just not too long ago, I was like, damn, I'm tired. I wonder if I could reschedule. And I was like, no, because you said you was going to do it. So do it. Give it up a few minutes or whatever, because I got to, you know, I do got some stuff to do, but I'll get to it. You know what I mean? Because again, once I get here, I'm in it. You know what I mean? But yeah, I don't trip. I feel like, you know.
What's your zodiac, Nikki? If you don't
I'm
mind.
a Virgo.
Virgo, all right. I ain't gonna hold it against you because I feel you. You feel me?
Listen, you know we crazy.
No, but you're organized though. You crazy but organized. You know, you do plan. You know
we try. Let me tell you, I'm gonna keep it a buck. Everybody say that about us, right? And I'll be like, me? Maybe when I was younger. But where I'm organized at, here. I'm organized if we writing. I'm organized if I got a project, and I'm that kind of organized. But if you can come to my room on a good day and be like, Nikki, this the clean side, and I'd be like, damn, it's all closed. And I'd be like, it's they all clean. Don't worry about it. Like,
I know some Virgos like that too.
See, but that be the creative. My creative be messing up that whole neat freak flow. I'm nowhere near OCD with that. I'm gonna tell you now.
No doubt, I feel you. But you talking some good stuff, especially today. And I've been watching you do it over the years, you know, like I'm not new to this, you know.
Okay.
I know some people personally that know you personally, and they champion you for being consistent in your messaging and how you feel about us as a people, as a community. You know, Dick Gregory used to say, we don't have a black community because we don't own the hospitals, we don't own the grocery stores, we have a neighborhood, we don't have a community, you know, we don't run what we need. That's why when we riot and we tear up stuff, it's like we don't care. We didn't build it. Yeah.
We didn't build it. So we're like, fuck it. We don't care. We tearing it up. It's like you got your Mercedes that you worked for or your car, Toyota, whatever. You taking it to the car wash. You getting them tires fixed. You getting them brakes done. You going to Jiffy Lube, whatever you got to do, whatever you working with. You taking care of it because you worked for your house. You cutting that grass. You pulling whatever out the top of the roof to cleaning the gutters. Like you doing all of that because it's yours. If you never had to, and even more in layman's terms example of that is you go to work every day, right? And the guy that works next to you don't never feel like he got nothing to lose. He come in late, he whatever with it. You doing his job mostly because you like, man, this shit gotta get done because I ain't getting in trouble for you.
Yeah.
He don't have the same responsibility as you. He don't have nothing to lose. So it's the same concept. And if I never really had nothing, then what's the problem? I'm going to get me some free this, some free that. I'm going to take it. It's a mind state that they have instilled, again, more mental enslavement of, you ain't going to never have shit. So you're going to get this right here. You get what you can. And that's a bad way to think, because you can have way more than what you have. It's just a matter of saying, this is what I'm going to do. And the universe going to walk with you. The law of intention is so real. My homeboy put up a post today that I put on my page. The law of intention is the realest shit. You intend on it, you walk in that path, and it happens. You know what I mean? And it happens. But you have to tell the universe you're ready. You know what I mean? You have to tell it you're ready. And it's going to walk with you.
Let me ask you something with regard to that, because you're from Brick City, New Jersey. You know what's in your name and all of that.
That's right. Newark.
We ain't gonna hold that against you either. You know, it's
good.
All good.
Good. You can't, because then you got to hold it against Whitney. You got to hold it against Latifah. You got to hold it against Naughty But. Come on now. Don't let me run it down the line.
Facts. Big shout out to Brick City, man. I love everybody from the Brick City, man.
Thank you.
You know, if I'm not mistaken, Newark was the first place that they tested the Cop series, right? Didn't y'all used to have like
I
remember seeing that on Channel 9 when I was a little kid. The Cops.
Let me tell you.
People's doors.
Let me tell you, that Newark, New Jersey drive-by, all of that shit was so real. You could be in the house laying down sleeping, you would just hear it. You just hear the cars going through the hood. You hear the skidding. You hear all of that stuff happening. And I remember one time specifically hearing this car just crash into a building. You could hear it. Yo, when you went outside, all you saw was the back of the car. So you already know that the person in that car was done. Like half the car was gone. That's how much he had run into the wall. You could be outside in the broad daylight. I promise you. I seen this shit too with my own two eyes. He was going to the store, and they moving at maybe like a 10, 15 mile per hour chase. The car's on the sidewalk. The cops is right behind them. I said, what the fuck is going on here? And it's normal.
So how do you go through? How do you go through all of that to where you find yourself in London with Allison? Is it Allison Williams?
Yeah.
And Russell Simmons. Like, what was that like for you? What was that transition from coming from the neighborhood to now you're overseas working on music? Because this is before you're rapping, almost, right?
I'm gonna tell you. Yep. I'm gonna keep it. This is like yeah. So here's the thing: when you have an upbringing or you have parents that actually try to show you more, you're not limited in your thoughts. You're not limited in what you feel like you could have. You're not limited in your goals.
Indeed.
I've always been outgoing. I've always liked to do stuff, try stuff new. I don't put myself in a box. Yes, I'm hood, but I can also sit down and have a conversation with anybody. You know what I mean? And if I don't know, I'm going to ask. So if I don't know, I'm going to ask. And a lot of people don't do that where we're from. So we like to sit around and act like we know, or we're embarrassed to find out what's over there because we don't know. So ignorance is bliss, and that's where you get all this other crap from. So for me, the transition was just a natural thing. It wasn't like, I'm going to be a star. I'm going to be a star. It was just, I walked into it because and not for nothing, I've skipped a whole part. We moved out to California. My mother moved us out there young too. Okay. And I wind up hooking up with Ice-T like in a mall. Like I met him in a mall, and I was much younger than him, but he was just so cool. And we were talking about how we were both from Jersey. And because he had some friends with him, and they were younger than him, so they were trying to bag me and my sister and my friends. Like, so, he was already with Darlene. He already had his woman. And
no doubt.
He had his DJ, and then we wound up all just being friends. And that's where I started rapping, believe it or not, even though I was a hip hop head still when I moved out to Cali. And the complete culture shock, moved into a completely like white neighborhood, high school, 90% white. I pushed through again. I'm not walking in there like this. Oh, I'm black. I'm walking in there like,
wow.
What's in here?
Confidence.
This what we doing? Okay. Because if you allow yourself to be if you shortchange yourself, imagine what the world gonna do to you. Absolutely. You gotta know that you deserve more than what you have. If you sitting home and every day you come home, and this is not my story, but this is how I'm saying, like, your upbringing really matters. If you sitting at home and you come home and you got 5 brothers and sisters, which again, this is hypothetical, and your mom and her man, not even your father, is in the house doing them. You smell the weed, you see the liquor.
You talking about my life? Keep talking. That's for real. It's 5 of us.
Yo, you see all of this stuff happening, and you don't for 1 second say, damn, I want more than this. This life? This can't be. I was not born to just be raised by somebody who really don't give a shit whether I live or die, because she don't really care. She into her man. It happens so much in our, our group. It happens so much where parents abandon their children for love, because guess what? Their abandonment happened when they were younger. So the cycle has to break somewhere. So a lot of people will never transition because they don't believe it. And they haven't seen it. And when they can't see things, it's hard for them to even imagine it.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So for me, I thank God that my mother sent me down south. And my grandmother was in Lake City, South Carolina. And I was picking okras out the field and watching the pig with the slop and just hating that whole lifestyle every summer.
I tell people, the 5% Nation started me not eating pork. But when I got to Alabama, because I was like you, my mother moved us to Alabama when I was 11, sight unseen. We went from Long Island to Alabama.
What?
Never been there, never visited. And now my grandfather, like you, want me to go pick peas in the hot sun. I told him I ain't come down here to be a slave. Literally, I said.
Listen, let me tell you. Listen, my grandmother's house is definitely one of those houses because we didn't even have, we had an outhouse. You know, so that's how old her house was.
In the 70s, 80s?
Huh?
And this is still in the 70s, 80s?
Late 70s, yeah.
Wow.
Her outhouse, bathing in a metal bowl in the morning, like a big ass white metal bowl. But she was fresh water, like at least the water was fresh. She would soap it up for us. Excuse me, get the towel, soap it up, we bathe. Then after a while, you get used to it. You hang out with your cousins down the road. You realize you got family everywhere in the South. So it just becomes okay after a while. And you're like, you know what? I'm all right. I'll be there. How long are we in it? Okay, good. We got 2 more weeks. Okay. And by the time the second week is there, it's like, damn, we leaving now. So you start to have fun. You don't even, excuse me, you don't even realize that that you have this whole transition moment for yourself. The culture shock is gone now. You're just like, oh, this is more life. So the more children or people experience life young, the more they want to see life. Indeed. You know what I mean? Like, you have to give it to them. You can't shelter your children. Listen, protect them is one thing. Sheltering them is another.
Indeed.
So, and then love them. Let them be free and show them stuff. Don't be selfish. These parents today, I don't even know how these kids are going to survive this shit. Like, these parents are horrible.
Yeah.
They're horrible. Like,
I mean, you still want to be a kid yourself. You don't even want to accept your responsibility as a parent.
Let me tell you, I tell people all the time, the mothers want to be Cardi B and the fathers want to be Offset. You know? Like, don't nobody want a parent. Like,
and big shout to Cardi B and Offset for doing what they have to do for their family, because, you know, I salute Cardi B. And I was going to say earlier, and don't, please, I don't mean no offense, but Cardi B is almost reminiscent to me of a young Nikki D, because she's one of the only ones with a platform as big as hers that's willing to speak truth to power sometimes.
Absolutely.
They clown her, but she speaks from her perspective.
I rock for Cardi. Let me tell you, people can say what they want about her, right? And people can have their idea about what hip hop is, what women should look like, and what people should do. You can't have an opinion about somebody else's life. You can have an opinion, but judging them is the issue for me. You know what I mean? Like, if she ain't murdering nobody, killing nobody, and, oh, this is what the little girl's going to go after, well, raise your children.
Raise them better.
Show them it's entertainment. You think culture going to be at the club? No, because mommy okay. But I'm saying
look at
today's
Jeezy's
parents,
son.
Huh?
Look at young Jeezy's son. You know, people said, you know, young Jeezy's promoting one message about the snowman, this, that, and the third, but his son graduated from college, you know?
Because that's what you're supposed to do. And people say, oh, these celebrities on these records talking shit about them doing this and doing that, but their kids is going to private schools and all that. Yes, because they've made it. Yes, but they did come from that trap. They did come from that. Yes. Naturally, their kids are going to go there. And what people forget about hip hop, and I tell people this all the time, it's it's a braggadocious ass music style that
For sure.
already came from the idea of I'm better than you. So when you hearing somebody talk slick after, or you knowing they have 2 albums already that are already popping, and then you know that they aren't broke anymore, you know that they not in the street no more, they still gotta be in the game to entertain you. What they supposed to do? Yeah, I'm sitting in my house, got so much money. Look at all these people around me, and I want more money. And like,
Yeah.
we're supposed to do sit there and tell you, and they do it, but it would be so corny to be like, yeah, I don't got no worries in the world.
Yeah.
They still need to entertain you. Now, just remind people that it's entertainment. That's my thing. Just tell people that it's entertainment at some point. You know what I mean? Like, I don't
breaks
doubt
my
that.
heart though, is because that scenario you described, I come from that. My mother had 5 kids, single mom. We lived in every neighborhood that was bad throughout Long Island, then to Alabama. We moved to Alabama to the projects. Please don't get it twisted. The Hubbard Street Project, 2nd Street, Dunbar, Knott Street, Troy, Alabama was rough. We had to survive that. You know what I mean? But like you said, you had to want more. And for me, you know, out of the 5 of us, 2 of us are gone. My brother, we lost my brother to a murder in 07. Don't know who did it. Lost my younger sister to cancer. You know what I mean?
Damn.
And
sorry to hear
just
that.
sometimes try to maintain mentally. It's a feat when nobody is encouraging you as a young kid coming up in the ghetto. I said, you know, the only thing worse in the ghetto than a lot of things is a child having to grow up in that and see what they can become. And a lot of times what you become is in jail, you know, some
troubled some kind of way.
Exactly.
You know, like
success.
A tyrant, like just a menace. You know what I mean? Like they don't see it. So with these parents today, I tell them, listen, love your kids more than you love yourself. You know what I mean? Like, love them more than you love yourself. Like, give them more. More don't mean money.
Fighting chance.
More doesn't mean money. More means time. More means exposure. More means attention. More means listening. More means being there. More means being quiet. More means letting them live their life, but try to understand them. And it just doesn't happen anymore. You know what I mean? And here's the thing, and I'll say this, and people will say, oh, we always loan excuses to shit. Systemic racism is real. They're definitely killing off Black fathers, 1,000%. So while somebody would say, oh, but you just do what you got to do. Stop with the bullshit. There's plenty of dead men right now who were just doing what they had to do. That are dead because the cops decided that, oh, I'm going to pull them over and just fuck with them, escalate the situation. And, you know, at some point, I'm probably going to wind up shooting them and killing them. Somebody on their way home from work. A man in the car with his children. You know what I mean? A man on the way to the car with 3 kids in the back. Jacob, I forgot his name, Blake. Like, all of these things, a mentally ill man in the middle of the street. It's 10 of y'all. Y'all shooting somebody? Really?
Yeah. Philando Castile in Minnesota.
Come on.
You know,
all
and
of
it
that.
goes on and on and on.
George
man.
Floyd. All of that. Breonna Taylor. This is what they want to happen. This is what is being done to us. And it's not about just when you do. And I hate to hear, oh, I teach my kids how to act when a cop pulls them over. Fuck you mean you teach them how to act? I get what you're saying, but why do you need to teach your child how to act when no other ethnicity in the world has to do that?
It has to at all.
Not even Latinos. Why are you teaching your child how to survive a cop stop? What? That is the saddest thing on the planet. We gotta teach you how to survive the person that's supposed to serve and protect you. How?
Yeah.
Why? That is the sickest shit to me. So when I think about the police and I think about that, that's why I be telling people, bring that black dollar back home. Yes. That black dollar is going to save us. I'm telling you, it's not the White House, it's not the black house, the blue house, the green house. It's the black dollar. We need to take the money from these people. I said something earlier, I posted yesterday. I said, listen, like I was telling you earlier, every neighborhood got bodegas and all of that stuff. Where's the after school programs? The black churches ain't giving you shit. Oh. When the last time a black church gave anybody something?
Yeah, keep it.
Last time a black church gave you something, they helped Joe Biden put that bill back together, that crime bill. Who you think introduced that crime bill? The black churches did that.
See, now you talking. See, we were just talking about this earlier. everybody coming at Joe for the crime bill, and I'm like,
he
I
helped out.
understand you want to look for a scapegoat, but you had to be alive in '94. You had to be of a certain age in '94. You had to have lived a certain lifestyle to understand how bad things had gotten to where there were churches, there was the Calvin Butts, there were the no disrespect,
exactly.
Know, but he was one of the main ones that was coming at us. We were kids, you know, demonizing the, the rappers that was speaking out. They were demonizing us, made us go further into a dark place to where now Tupac's lashing out at C. Dolores Tucker and Calvin Butts, and because Ice-T happened to defend himself, it was us that asked for that '94 crime bill.
Absolutely.
It was your aunts, it was your uncles, it was
absolutely all of them, because they didn't understand. The thing is, so what, we wasn't all psychedelic out and smoking pot and joints and being like, ooh, right? Because guess what? In '86 they introduced, '84 they introduced that crack. When that crack came through, now you introduced a generation of complete destruction. Now you got generations of destruction, and it's still tearing down homes and families, still to this day. Because you know why? The crack babies is crazy. So then they go do crazy stuff, and they got crazy baby mamas and baby daddies all over the place. Why? Not fully developed. You know what I mean? All
development
played a part. So when I look at, and people say, oh, just go ahead and do what you got to do. It's not, I swear I wish it was that easy. And for me, somebody who was like, nah, I just moved on, did what I wanted to do, because I didn't have to I didn't live like that. That wasn't my story. But that is the majority of the story of our people. You know what I mean? From want to say like 1980 and up. You know what I mean? Like we had our parents had their own issues going back. Their shit was way worse than ours. You know what I mean? They just transitioned actual slavery into prison. If y'all got Netflix, watch the 13th. This is a private business. And the people they deemed to make this business happen is people of color, mostly black people. That's why you get pulled over so much. That's why you're always in court. That's why they always after you like that, no matter what, they'll roll up on you. And if you don't know just a little bit of rights, study. Stop letting these motherfuckers come at you and just walk you off like that. You got rights. You just got to know how to put them out. You just got to know how to respond. It ain't yes, sir, no, sir. No, it's, am I being detained? Yeah. Am I being detained? Am I free to go? It's the simple shit like that people don't even know when they pull you over. Like, you know you ain't doing nothing. License and registration. Am I being detained? License and registration. Am I being detained? Has a crime been committed? Like, you got to know what to say to them, because they know the law. They know it. Now, don't get it twisted. There's some assholes that's going to be like, get out the car. You're going to get them. You're going to get them.
I think we sometimes feel like we agitate them when we know our rights sometimes.
You know because guess what? Let me tell you something. They don't even know the damn laws. They don't even know half the penal codes. You think they actually remember and know all of that stuff? Absolutely not.
They probably cheated on the test anyway.
Come on. They don't even train for more than, 3 months or something? And you out in the street, you policing the neighborhood, how? You know what I mean? But it just bothers me that to this day, we don't have black leaders in the community. Nowhere. Look around. Even at this, let's take Al Sharpton, for example.
Brother Al.
Brother Al. You get to get on CNN and talk shit, we're going to get his check. But if you try to galvanize your people, that's going to be a problem.
Indeed.
Where he going to be? You know what I mean? And he can get on there and talk, and Donald Trump and this and that. And CNN, MSNBC, sensationalized news. Sensationalized TV. All of that. Every day, all you're looking at is COVID numbers, like it's a football game. But now, since we're in election time, it's like everything's about the election. Everything. And then we got about a week of this fire to happen. You know what I mean? Hopefully everything will do what it's supposed to do by the end of the night, and we don't have to put up with, Donald Trump and his corrupt ass kids and his corrupt ass administration. And we can at least move on and try to live somewhat of a normal life. But don't get it twisted. Joe Biden gonna introduce some shit that y'all wasn't ready for. Don't get it twisted. He gonna come through. Y'all thinking, oh no, let's get Joe. Joe don't even know his name half the time.
Oh.
Come on, real talk. You introduced your granddaughter as your son that's no longer here. I seen it with my own 2 eyes when the man says, "Hi, my name is Joe Biden. Hi, my name is Jill Biden, and my husband is Joe Biden." And he continued to read on, and I'm like, "Is this a joke?" And his wife just stood there like, "Wow." Everybody knows. Hey, listen, I'll give Trump this. What do you call him, Sleepy Joe?
Yeah. Yes, Trump is the
Yeah.
you can tell Trump is from Queens, man, because he don't care. He will say anything. He is definitely the 50 Cent of politics, yo. He didn't never met a challenge he was going to walk away from.
Absolutely. Oh, my God. You ain't never lied. The petty king. Them
he's
two,
bugged out.
petty. You ain't never lied, yo. But we living in some tough times right now. I'm just going to say, educate yourself, people. Educate yourself. Spend more time reading and educating yourself about your own people, where you come from. If you don't know, everybody did not come over here on no ship. You know, that's not where our history started. Some people were already here. You are great. You know what I mean? There's a lot of great things about you, but you got to dig deep and find that greatness. And anything you see yourself being, you absolutely could be 1,000%. The only thing that's going to stop you from not being what you want to be is you. Put it out there. I'm telling you, if I'm not a religious person, I'm a spiritual person. I believe in energy. I believe in the universe. I believe the connection is universal. And that's why they say there's God in all of us. And people don't believe that. If you will something long enough, why do you think people think they've been alive all this time talking about my Jesus kept me alive? It was my Jesus. Because they just believed. Religion is something you do religiously. And if you wholeheartedly believe something, you still sending that out into the universe. And in your mind, it's the greatest thing for you. So it's still good energy, whether this person exists or not. So just the law of intention, again, remember, you can be anything you want to be. You do not have to be that child that came from the hood and a broken up home and all of that stuff. You will be that person because that's your beginning, but it does not have to end like that. You don't have to end your life like that. You could get up tomorrow and be like, let me go be a doctor.
One again.
Let me go and get
my philosophy is day one again. This is the first day of the rest of my life.
Period. When people be like, oh, I'm going to start my diet on Monday. Why? It's Wednesday. You waiting 5 days for to get right.
I still got Haagen-Dazs in the freezer. I got to finish that.
I paid for that. And you better finish it too, because I would. I'm going to tell you now. But, you know, be great. Be great. Yeah.
So
you know?
This is the original Nikki. This ain't Nicki Minaj. This is Nikki D.
Oh, no. She spelled her name wrong anyway. She spelled it N-I-K-K. It's the only one way to spell Nikki, baby. N-I-K-K-I. I ain't no hate on Nikki, but your mama did you dirty. That ain't how you spell Nikki, honey. I'm going to tell you now. A shout out to all my sisters out there. Lady of Rage. All the ones who came up with me. Lady of Rage. Even Antoinette. I talked to Antoinette this morning. But let me tell you. Antoinette. You know, she told me this morning, she called me and she said,
Lights out. Now the party's over.
You know, I'm laughing my homeboy Wayne and shit. What up, Wayne? Antoinette called me this morning. She's like, Nick, I knew you. She was like, how do you call Nick and tell her this shit? She went to vote this morning, which she always vote. Vote and poll closed. Can't get in. No sign telling you where to go.
This is in New York?
This is upstate New York. She live upstate. No sign telling you where to go, where the next polling site might be. Ain't no information. Never got nothing in the mail. It's just closed. Wow. I said, wow. Pissed her all the way off because she went to go vote. I said, dag, that's crazy. But this is what I'm saying. Like, this is America. Voter suppression is real, you know? And the funny thing is, and I'm going to say this real quick, too. And again, shout out to all my sisters, Light, Latifah, everybody I came up with, Paula Perry, Bahamadia, Rod Digger. We need to do another song together. I'm going to tell y'all all that right now.
Get busy. I need to hear it.
All of that. Voter suppression is real. But the thing that we need to stop doing, and I said this earlier, why are we waiting on other people to take care of us? We got to take care of ourselves. It ain't going to happen no other way. And for the parents and the people who might have their lives together and they taking care of their kids, that's great. That's wonderful. That's a beautiful thing. But there's a whole group of us out there, and we all need each other.
Absolutely.
So wherever you could share. Wherever you could give. And simple shit. I'm getting coffee this morning. I don't care about stuff like this. I do it all the time, but simple shit. They hold the doors open, you know, they Dunkin' Donuts, they're holding the doors open for you.
Yeah,
I'll never give them money.
Yeah.
I'll never give them money. I'm sorry. I'm not giving you no money. I walk in the door. He said, can you buy me a coffee? I said, oh, sure. Come on. I got you on a coffee. He got to the counter and he was like, don't you mind if I get a bagel, bacon? I said, get what you want. Since you want a donut, get what you want. Get it. It's going to stop you one. It's going to put some nourishment, some nutrition in your body, even though it's processed food. You know what I mean? Whatever. It's going to put some nourishment in your body. You're going to feel a little bit better. You might go do something a little bit better for yourself today. You might be like, damn, people still care. People still give two shits. You might see yourself in a different light. You know what I mean? Like, wow, somebody was really nice to me. And it's not going to create a miracle, but it might give you a better insight on yourself and life, and you might push you in a different direction. We still got to help wherever we can. You know what I mean? Like, we still got to help wherever we can. Like I was saying a few weeks ago, a young lady was outside, and, you know, ever since the remote learning and all of that, she outside sitting on the ground doing her homework. So I'm in a whole building here. I got everything. What you doing? You doing homework? Yes. I was like, you been out here all day? She was like, since like 8:30. I said, okay, let me just tell you who I am and let you tell your family. Because if you want to, I can take you in this building where I'm going. You have your own space, your own office, Wi-Fi. Ain't nobody going to bother you. And it's a whole bunch of other people in here. And you could do your homework right there in that office. I said, would you like that? And she was like, yeah, sure. Came upstairs. I asked her if she wanted to eat. She said, no, I'm fine. I'm not hungry. I said, you want a water, anything? So I got her some water because she was thirsty. And she did her homework. And she came by. She was like, thank you, Miss Nikki. She was like 15 years old. She's like, thank you, Miss Nikki. Appreciate that. I said, anytime. I said, and if you ever find you have a problem with Wi-Fi, you come to that front, open that door, and you tell them you're here to see Nikki. And you come upstairs and you do your homework. We have to help wherever we can, because you don't want the youth, or you don't even want homeless people going somewhere hurting themselves, winding up being locked up. We don't know the story. Everybody's not a drug addict. You know what I mean? That man asked for some food. He ain't asked for no money. You know what I mean? Everybody's not a drug addict. So if you ask me for food, I'm feeding you. Bottom line, this is going to happen. You ask me for money, I usually don't have a lot of cash on me anyway. So if I got cash on me, it's for a reason. I'm not giving you cash. Yes, I'm not giving you cash. Not happening. You ask me for some guidance, I got you.
No doubt.
But we got to learn how to help and stop looking at our people like, oh, that bum ass. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
we quick to tear each other down, man. Quick.
Oh, man,
before we do anything else.
We tear each other down.
Is there an initiative that you have or anything that we can support? Because the wealth of knowledge that you have speaks to the void in leadership that we have from our generation.
You know what's funny, Nat? I'm going to tell you. Hold on. You know what's funny? I'm going to tell you that I was saying that myself. Hold on. There's somebody at my door. Sorry, I'm doing a live. Huh? Look, right there. The first thing. Yeah. I get it as soon as I'm finished with this. I don't have a specific initiative, right? But I said, Nikki, do you realize you might have a different calling? You know what I mean? Like, because I'm absolutely passionate about caring for my people, right? 1,000% passionate. I want more for us. I want us to look at ourselves differently. I want us to understand our power. I want us to understand that. So I said, I'm going to create a small program that I start here in Harlem where...
Are you uptown?
Yeah.
Okay.
But these businesses are going to have to start giving up some money for stuff that we want to do in our neighborhood. Why? Because your business is open because of us.
Indeed.
You could be in a bodega. Who coming in the bodega? Us.
Yes.
Who coming in the bodega? I'm sorry, Tyson. Let me open the door. I locked it. Yeah. Yeah. All right. We furnish businesses for decades. Decades. Oh, that's that's Habibi. He been around since. Oh, that's such and such. He been around since. You go into the bodegas in the hood, Harlem, whatever. The man behind the counter. What up, my nigga?
Oh, yes, indeed.
And I be like, yo, we never gonna be that cool.
Especially on 125th and Lenox, right by the Starbucks.
Oh, that's Habibi Central.
Yeah,
right
with
there.
The cat
that's
sleeping on
right
the bread.
there. Right there. So we constantly I'm feeding these businesses. So my thing is, I have to figure out what it is, and I don't have any initiative right now. But when I do let it go, you absolutely gonna know. And I'm gonna put it out there, whether it be for women or whatever. But these businesses are gonna give me some money to help build this project. I'm gonna go to the city and see what they're talking about now that they have all this pro-black stuff happening. And yeah, please don't be fooled by all these Black Lives Matter murals all over the place. The paint coming up off the ground already. Anyway, it's cute, but come on. Whenever America want to give Black people something, be very, very afraid.
Yeah, don't patronize me, as my mom would say. Don't patronize me. You know, you
come
can
on.
use the money for the paint for an initiative. You could, you know, the lip service is cool, but we need to see some results. Good. And then when you start saying tangibles, there's a sect of us that got a problem with Black people asking for some things that are tangible. Like and that's what Q was talking about. Give us some tangibles. Stop
exactly.
We need minority
come on.
stuff.
We need economic stability. We don't own stuff. And when you go for loans and when you go to purchase property, there is a certain number and a code that goes on your applications so that they know that you are Black.
Yeah.
So if they're not going to give us nothing, then who going to give us something? Us. Period. We got to take it. Listen. Oh, you don't want to give me no donations this month? I tell you what, I'll be outside in front of your store tomorrow with 400 people with picket signs.
Indeed.
You're not opening no more until you realize that we the community that got you here. You'll get to open. You make $2,000 in probably 20 minutes. So if I ask you for a little 5 racks a month to put together a program so I can have these young boys not coming up in your store.
Robbing it. Yeah.
Wilding out. You know what I mean? Calling you all kinds of names and wild. Come on. We have to figure out how to get some of this money back that we gave. We've been giving it all our life. We got to get it back. This just not it. It's just not it. And that's where I'm at with it. So when I create that initiative, whatever that may be, trust and believe, I will put you on that. I'll put everybody else on. I need to be
right there with you, man. I got muscle. I got ideas. I got whatever you could need. I'm willing to play my part as a soldier.
Okay.
Because
so that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
You've been on the front line since forever, you know. You could talk it because you walked it. You know what I'm saying? And I can look at you and can tell you're continuing to walk it. You're still in the community. You're still, you know, speaking life into our people, man. And I salute you for that, my sister. And I don't know if you've been on Drink Champs or any of the other publications. It's long overdue. Like, because Nori always says we want to give you your flowers while you're here. We want to give you.
Well, I appreciate the bouquet you gave me today. I will take it.
Yeah, man, for real. Because it's all love, man. And this is, again, a power of intention. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
We go back to 1991. I'm in the military listening to Daddy's Little Girl marching and this, that, and the third. And I know somewhere in the back of my mind I'm going to meet you. But I think I'm going to meet you because I rap and I'm going to be on tour. We're going to do it this way or we're going to do it that way.
Right.
30 years later, we talking about trying to heal our people.
There you go. And, that's where we at though. That's where we at. And guess what do they say? I meet you where you at.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So that's pretty much it.
This has been love, man. Good. I appreciate you, sister. I love you, my sister.
I love you too.
And I just want you to continue to prosper. I'm not far. New York is my home. I'm always home every so often. I love to work with you in any capacity, especially in helping our people, man.
Okay.
Straight up.
I'm definitely going to figure it out because I said, every time I post something, people always inspire me like, lead, sister. That's what I'm talking about, preaching. I don't always want to go after them. I want to go after us. I don't care about them. See, we keep it's not that I don't care about them, but we have those people that we got. My son, we got Tamika Mallory. We got people that are really already going for their necks. So we all can't do the same thing. Who's going to heal the people while we trying to heal the system? You know what I mean? So I want to go to the people because without the people, we don't get a new system
at all, man.
And on that note,
they're gonna shut us down. Thank you so much, NIKKI D.
You're welcome.
You are still gorgeous as ever.
Thank you.
Your aura is popping. Oh man,
thank you so much.
2020, I don't care what nobody said bad about 2020. My 2020 has been dope.
We lit.
We lit, as they say. Yo, big shout out to your son. Tell him to keep grinding. He got that energy. I see him out there.
He do. He's off the chain. You're definitely gonna see him more for sure. You're definitely gonna see him. But thank you so much, Nat. I appreciate it. I'm glad we had this conversation. I hope everybody else who was on here enjoyed it, got some info out of it. And anybody, you know what I mean, hit me up. I'm always down to, see if I can help some kind of way. I'm not coming to your cookout and doing your backyard party. I'm not doing that. But we can figure something out.
Indeed. Okay? Yo, have a good night, sis.
All right. You too. Salute. Take care. Salute.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.